Welcome everyone to 2013, my first video of the year, and I didn't really get to do like an end of 2012 video. I thought I was going to have time to, but then I spent way too much time doing the question and answers video. Trying to balance that out with also taking care of all the holiday stuff, which that was another thing. This was the first year I actually tried to make videos throughout the holiday season, because normally it's like second week of December. I'm like, all right, bye everybody, fuck y'all, and I'll see you next year. But this one's like, nah, I'll try and tough it out and make videos, and it turned out to be a really bad idea because I almost had no time to do it. And the question and answers video took a lot longer to do than I had originally planned. And the video itself turned out a lot longer than I originally planned, so I didn't really get to do like an official end of the year video for 2012. So I thought I'd do that here. And no best of or worst of awards or anything like that, because I just didn't have time to do that, and I don't feel like doing it now. But I just wanted to give my brief overviews and thoughts of the different wrestling companies, what I thought of their products throughout 2012. One thing I do have to say, and I'll throw Ring of Honor into the mix, even though I didn't watch a whole lot of it, I do have to say I am very disappointed with how Ring of Honor has turned out. This is a product that my only major knock on it for years was that their fans were kind of snobby and kind of loudmouths and tried to make you feel like an idiot if you didn't like Ring of Honor, and I really hate that attitude. But I couldn't deny that they were defending and believing in a great product. That I couldn't deny. Ring of Honor for years was a great product and turned out to be, basically the future of pro wrestling, and the stars that came out of there, from CM Punk to Austin Aries, AJ Styles came from there, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, tons of guys that you see on the shows now and have seen throughout the last decade all came from Ring of Honor at one point or another. And Ring of Honor itself was a great product that offered great wrestling, compelling stories, and was just an all-around entertaining show. That is not the case anymore, and I don't know what is going on with them. It just seems so stale now and so boring, and it doesn't help that I feel no compulsion to buy their pay-per-views, their online pay-per-views, since they always short out, which hasn't been a problem with anybody else as far as I know. I haven't heard of any other company doing iPay-per-views struggling to put them on the way Ring of Honor has. It's just unbelievable. You can almost count on there being some kind of a technical glitch with every single Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and it's insane. But it's not just that, like the amount of buzz. Like Ring of Honor always had a buzz around it, and always had a, something to talk about, or some star to rave about. They really don't have that anymore, and I'm not trying to put down Kevin Steen or Davey Richards or anybody like that, but it just doesn't feel like there's any, just nothing exciting going on over there. No buzz. I don't see any major Ring of Honor headlines or anything. And, I tried to get, because I didn't order Final Battle, I tried to get results off of PW Torch, and I couldn't find them. So I don't even know if, PW Torch even covered it, the final pay-per-view. It just feels like, I don't know, and that's not a good sign. I hope Ring of Honor is able to bounce back, because I do like having as many viable products as possible, and hopefully Ring of Honor is able to do some kind of a turnaround. And it's not that they don't have talent. They do have talent. I mean, Jay Lethal's there, for God's sakes. But, they can do better. And hopefully they do better. Now, if I want to talk about TNA and what I thought of their 2012, if I had to sum up TNA in 2012 in one word, it would be improvement. They're not perfect. They were not perfect in 2012. I mean, Claire Lynch happened. Okay, so if Claire Lynch happens, that automatically means that you're not perfect, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up winning the Gooker Award on the WrestleCrap website. They had their falls this year, but overall, I felt like the show was better structured. I felt like the show was better written, better presented. And they did some things that were legitimately exciting, like Bobby Roode's title reign, like the Roode and Storm feud, like the early stuff with the Aces and Eights, so they're kind of falling now because it feels like the Aces and Eights never win anymore. So what's the point? But you know, the Bound for Glory series was very good. Overall, their pay-per-views were much better than they have been the last couple of years. TNA has just taken some really, really good steps forward. And like I've said before, the Bound for Glory series creatively might be the best idea they've ever had. So, yeah, I mean, TNA is just, they've gotten better. And hopefully they take more steps forward this year in becoming a more solid product again. Because what they were in 2009 when it was the year of the Main Event Mafia, and what they were in 2010 and 2011, the first 2 years of the Hogan-Bischoff regime, was not good. So to them to, you know, go through 3 years of, I don't want to say entirely nothing good, but 3 years of very lackluster products overall, for them to come back in 2012 and actually put on shows that I thought were legitimately good at times. And even the bad things that they did, Claire Lynch was the worst, and outside of that, there was nothing like that bad, except for Claire Lynch, which was fucking atrocious and horrible. But overall, they did an okay job for most of the year. So I'll give them credit for that, and hopefully cutting back on pay-per-views will help them, and hopefully they do strong heading into Lockdown, because Lockdown's going to be in March, and there's no pay-per-view in between Genesis and Lockdown, so hopefully they've got some good ideas in place and are able to build up something long-term towards their major Steel Cage pay-per-view. We shall see. But yeah, those are my basic thoughts on TNA. I overall really enjoyed them. Oh, and I forgot to mention the reign of Austin Aries and his rise to the top was also a major story of the year that really carried them through the summer. I mean, the questionable decisions are still there. Like, I disagreed with Hardy winning the belt for a multitude of reasons. But again, overall, TNA's gotten better. That's my basic point, despite their flaws. WWE... How do I sum up WWE? They always manage to do headlines or do something that would catch my attention, like the return of Brock Lesnar, or CM Punk attacking The Rock at Raw 1000, or The Shield coming out and doing the things that they were doing. Sorry, I'm hearing noises in the background. I don't know what that is, but whatever. They always manage to do things that kind of keep my attention. And that I'll give them credit for, because it never feels like there's nothing to talk about in terms of what the WWE is doing. The major problem with the WWE is that their programming is still kind of a jumbled mess. A lot of the same, problems that have been plaguing their programming for years, from structuring to formatting to everything. A lot of it just seems a little off. And it's especially gotten worse since they've gone to 3 hours, because they just have so much trouble filling that third hour, and it shows every week. And it doesn't help that they have a Wednesday night show, they've got a 2-hour show on Fridays, and then they have a show on Saturday mornings. There's just too much programming, and to burden themselves with that third hour of Raw just seems like overkill. And I do think that causes a lot of the problems, where they burn through things too quickly, or the shows feel like they're dragging because they 3 hours is a lot of time to fill, and a lot of times it does feel like they are stretching for time. And I think that's been a major problem for Raw, among other things. I mean, for those of you that saw the 2 holiday episodes, the Christmas Eve show and the New Year's Eve shows, they weren't very good, but I wouldn't take them very seriously, because I think they kind of took the attitude of, oh, it's the holiday and nobody gives a shit. But, they were still bad. Don't get me wrong. They were still really, really bad. So what I hope for in 2013 is that I hope that they come to their senses and just drop the third hour off of Raw, because I think that would help them put a more concise show together. Now, like I said, it's not like they've been completely incompetent. They have done a lot of things that I really liked. The CM Punk title reign. I liked that, oh my god, they actually ran with a guy for a year. And they got some good programs out of it too, so that's really nice. The tag division got a huge jump start this year, and that's awesome. And, it's, again, still not perfect, but it's something. And they've got a lot of volume in the division. And there actually seems to be, like, if not, it's an unofficial ranking, but it does seem like that they've put the effort into actually having some set ranking in the tag team division and trying to make it work as an actual division, which is nice to see. And like I've already talked about the Shield, and I've talked about Brock Lesnar and some of the other things that they've done. So they've done some good things. They've done some things that have caught my attention and have made me go, oh, I wonder where they go with that. Okay, let's see. And, it is, when you create something like the Shield, which I think they've done really well with so far, that's one of their best things going. Dolph Ziggler's another one. They've actually, oh my God, they're actually putting something into Ziggler, finally. Ziggler, who I've been praising since 2009. It's like, wow, you finally decided to start doing something significant with him. Good for you. Hopefully they're able to really pay off a lot of that stuff in 2013 and do something really good with it, especially since we're heading into WrestleMania season. That'll lead me into the conclusion of this video where I talk about some of my plans for WrestleMania season. I am doing another WrestleMania series of videos, not like the rebooking WrestleMania that I did 2 years ago, but it is something. Hopefully it won't be as time-consuming as rebooking WrestleMania is, because I've kind of felt like with... by the time I was done with rebooking WrestleMania, I felt like I kind of bit off more than I could chew, but this one is going to be a little bit more simple, but it's going to be 12 videos, 12 entries, that I'm going to try and stretch out from January all the way until WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm able to get those out to you, and hopefully you enjoy them. I can't think of anything else major lined up. I did end up seeing, even though I didn't see them live, I did end up seeing Final Resolution and TLC. I think I should make that point clear. Enjoyed both shows. I thought both shows were good. I really liked the TLC match from... TLC. I like that TLC match from that TLC pay-per-view. The one with the Shield versus Ryback and Team Hell No. I thought they did a really good job of showcasing the Shield at their best. And Final Resolution overall was just a solid all-around show. So, at least both companies, I felt, closed out their pay-per-view years at least moderately well. So, there's that. I'll have more to talk about as we head into Genesis and especially the Royal Rumble, because obviously the Royal Rumble is the playoff to WrestleMania, so we'll have a lot to talk about when we get there, especially since The Rock is going to be fighting Punk for the title there. And yes, I highly doubt that Ryback is going to take the title off of Punk, which I said before, I was like, I don't even think they should do that match because we know Punk's going to win. And if they want to build up Ryback as a major star, I don't think they should have him lose to... he's basically lost everything since he lost to Punk at Hell in a Cell. When you could have done a lot of other programs with Ryback, like something with Brad Maddox and something with the Shield, that could have taken him away from Punk, and you could have spent that time building up Punk versus Rock. But that's just my opinion. But I'll have a lot more for you in the coming weeks. But until then, I hope everybody enjoyed your holiday season. I know I did. It was a lot of fun. For all you football fans out there, I hope you enjoy the playoffs, even if your team's not in it. My team didn't make it, unfortunately, because they took 2 weeks off and then decided last week of the season, hey, let's actually play. Let's try to win. But it was too little too late by that point. But yeah, it's shaping up to be pretty well. I just watched the Packers whip up on the Vikings. They're looking pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. But until next week, I'll have something for you. And later, everybody.